Okay, so yet another week has ended, and um, as I said, anytime I'm free or anytime I get some time, I would make a review of my trade setups based on the request I had for the mentorship. Um, uh, this might not continue for like forever actually, so anytime I get time I will do it. If I don't get time, then probably the following week, or any other time I get time, then I actually do it for to help you guys. All right, so this week hasn't been that much of a great week for me actually. There are some mistakes that I actually did, and it's actually hurt me. And even though I didn't lose money in it, actually I was protected by my protective mechanisms actually. So this was my projections. Okay, this was my projection. I posted it into the Telegram channel. So this was my projection. I was expecting this volume imbalance over here. Okay, when you go to the charts, you see it's to be filled, or in the last portion of it, okay, to act as a support for the dollar index to rise. Okay, but it didn't actually happen that way. This was what happened. Okay, this is what happened. All right, it actually went opposite to what I predicted, so it's all part of the game actually. But the most important aspect is what I actually learned from it, and what probably you can also learn from my mistake that I did. All right. Okay, so for the dollar index, I usually trade the Euro USD, so the dollar index is my benchmark, and as I said, I was expecting this volume imbalance on the 4-hour time frame, okay, to act as a support for the buying. One mistake that I did was that I was actually trying to call the top. I was very much aware of this mistake, but I was trying to call the very bottom per se of the market. That's the very turning point of the dollar index in its bearish state. So it's like a catching a falling knife, and it's just went through my hand. Okay, so that was one mistake I did, was by trying to call the very bottom, or the reversal point or reversing point of the downtrend that we've had for some weeks now. And the other mistake that I did was that I actually ignored the order flow. Okay, the market structure. I didn't respect it, and that's another main reason I was hurt, or my trade didn't actually go well with me this week. And it was all the other mistakes that I did was based on the first one. That's trying to call the very bottom, or the very turning point, or the reversal point of the market. Okay, that's one thing that I did. And also the order flow, as I said, I was not following it. Okay, we're bearish. Even the daily was telling me that price was going down. Weekly price was going down. Okay, so but personally I was expecting a turning point around this area. Okay, I was expecting the previous week. We just had a little retracement off of this price swing. Okay, now the market structure part that I didn't respect, even though I saw it and I because of what I was expecting price the dollar index to do, I didn't actually respect it or didn't give heed to what price was trying to tell me was this high. Okay, this very high, not even taking out this short-term high. Okay, this was a news release, and as even with the news release, we were not able to take out this very high, meaning the dollar is highly distributed. Okay, they are selling the dollar, and it was a mistake that I didn't actually listen to what the chart was telling me about the market structure. Okay, and the other aspect was that you see this volume imbalance over here. Okay, now when you look down at this point too, there is another one over there. Okay, there is another one here. For that, personally, I didn't see it because of what I was expecting, the reversal around this area. Okay, I was expecting a reversal around this area. I really didn't take much of attention to this side, but this side is almost the same as this side. As I said in the other video, this whole drop down here, okay, this whole drop down here was to closing this valve, was to closing this volume imbalance, and here to closing this volume imbalance. I hope you heard me say valve. It's all normal, you know, I'm an engineer. So to closing this volume imbalance over here and take out this sell stops around this area. So that was another thing, according to the order flow, that I didn't take heed to. Okay, so but then in the pre-charts link I sent, if you should open it, you see that I had written something like this: if price trades below the 90-10 level, I'm not taking any trade. This was my short or my safety net. Okay, now because I was expecting bullishness around this area, okay, around this area, I think 99 15 area there. Okay, was it 99? Let me check. So yeah, 90 15 actually, not 90 13, it should be 90 15, around this area. So because of that, I knew that if price should go below this 90-13 area, sorry, it should go below the 90-10 mark. Okay, 90-10 mark, which is around this area, below this low, right? Then I would consider the dollar to be more bearish, as it has been for the past weeks. Okay, so as price dropped below the 90-10, I think it was on Tuesday. Yep, it was on Tuesday, and generally when the market opens, if I haven't placed any limit orders, I usually wait for the Tuesday London Open to move. Okay, at some specific times, but Tuesday London Open, so before London opened, the 90-10 level was breached. Okay, so it was no good, it was against my expectation, so no trade. All right, that was no trade. There was no trade that had to be taken. So as the dollar index gave me, or as my prediction for the dollar index went off road, or I was taken out, the pair that I trade here, Euro USD had to also be on suspension. Okay, it had to also be on suspension for that. All right, so as I was expecting the bullishness in the dollar index, I was expecting some kind of bearishness to fill in this gap, just like the previous week, to fill in this gap, and I was aiming for the midpoint of this area over here. Okay, this area over here, because I knew around this area, okay, when price should come around this area, we should get some kind of bullishness or retracements back. All right, and I had learned to or had learned to try to not call the tops, even though I just did, and it hurt me. Anytime I place a trade, I make sure that I leave the trade before where I expect price to have some kind of reaction. We reach there. Okay, so if I'm expecting price to actually move from this side to this area over here, okay, I have to put my take profits just before we get to that price point. Okay, just before you get to that price point, that price point. So that is that. Okay, so there was no trade on, I think, from Monday to Tuesday, but I had, I think, Thursday. Yeah, it was on 5 minutes or so. Sorry. Yeah, I had a failure swing below these lows around this area. Okay, I think it was on 30 minutes time frame rather. Yeah, a failure swing below this low, or a false swing below this low this side, and I took it up above the side. Okay, now there was a technique I used to get this trade. All right, with the divergence with the Euro USD and then the dollar index. Okay, there's a technique I used to enter a trade even if I miss this area, and by the time I open my chart, price might have moved away from this side. I just go down to 5 minutes, or if I was in the 1 hour, 4 hour, I move down to 4 hour. Then there is a way I actually enter the trade to catch the swing, the price swing up to the previous high, whose leg was used to take out these lows. Okay, so I hope one day I'll be able to actually teach those who will be interested, and it helps very well. So that is that. And then these are the lessons that I actually learned. I learned some lessons I would like to share with you guys. One is that I never ever try to pick the tops and the bottoms. When I mean tops and the bottoms, that's something that I've been struggling with for some time actually. So let's see this very turning point. Okay, this very turning point is the tops. This very turning point. All right, that's for this trend. If probably I'm trading this trend, and let's say the chart is the daily chart. Okay, now I don't have to know or try to predict where price would have a reversal. Okay, I just have to manage to trade or move within the trend from this side, maybe after the trend had begun. Okay, I just find a way to join it, then I move out of it before it's reverse, or probably I'll be in it and it will reverse on me, then I'll have a losing trade on that particular one. It's okay with me. Okay, but to totally predict the reversal the reversing points, I have to try and then overcome that. It's actually good I made that mistake this week. Okay, and then I also have to always go with the order flow. All right, that's one thing I also learned. All these things were based on the fact that I was trying to call the turning point or the reversal on the dollar index, and I was kind of too myopic. I didn't look at the bigger picture. Usually all my trades I have to check the weekly, daily before. Okay, but I don't know, for one or two reasons it didn't happen, and this volume imbalance over here, all right, I didn't actually get to see it well, and so that was another thing I actually learned. And always have to obey my market structure rules. There are some particular guidelines that I follow to get or understand what the structure is telling me, okay, about what highs that when price break their break in market structure or shift in market structure at hot points in time. Okay, because some of the sometimes when some highs or some lows are broken, they are just short-term break, or they are just fade outs per se. Okay, so price will just come as it happened around this area. Okay, so price just dip down a little bit on this low, this swing low. Price dip down just beneath it, and then it moved up again. Okay, now there are some rules that I follow to predict real market structure break, then to and also to get these kind of fake breaks. Okay, but because I was trying to predict the reversing points, all these things I just didn't give heed to it, and it hurts me. Okay, it's actually hurts me. Okay, so the other thing is that always use risk management. So if I had, as I said, I had a trade around this area. So right, yeah, from this side up here. So if probably I had used higher lot size, okay, to probably get to this area, this equal highs, right, I would have been burnt actually if, let's say, the trade didn't or hadn't gone my way, or if I had used limit orders on these ones on Monday, I would have been hurt, and probably majority of my account will be gone. So that is that. And I have to also stick to my trading plan. I have to also stick to my trading plans. Okay, all the rules that I follow, I have to stick to them and never deviate, even though sometimes there will be some kind of a little tweaks, but I have to stick to the core content of the plan. Okay, there are some things that I don't have to go without, something like the market structure. Okay, something like the market structure, I should never and ever go against it as I did, because I was trying to call the bottom on the dollar index. All right, and also I should be able to, this one I always do it, so it's okay, but I'm just saying is maybe someone might be interested. I should always be able to keep journals of all my trades before the week and after the week, so that I can track my progress, what went wrong, what I did, what I didn't do, and what I could have done. Okay, and what I could have done to do things to get better results. All these things, I think I've learned something out of it. So hopefully next week, let's see if I get more time, I would post my pre-charts and post-charts, sorry, pre-market and post-markets, and then those who would want to have a look at it, you have a look at it and you can learn something out of it. Okay, for the new guys, one thing that you would want to really understand is the market structure. Okay, try to understand the market structure. If you understand the market structure, personally, I think almost 50%, sorry, 40% of your burden is off. Okay, if you understand market structure and then order flow. Okay, if you understand these two, market structure and then the order flow, I think your 40% of your burden is gone. The rest, just with time, everything will be fine. Alright, so let's see what next week has for us. Enjoy your weekend. We talk again.